So how do we actually manage so many different assets and services within one system? Well, the answer lies in what we call the designer module. And designer, in its simplest sense, allows you to create any asset that you want, define all the attributes that you want to record against those assets. So what information do you want to hold? Componentize those assets. So, how would you want to break that asset into parts and sort of link it together? What would be the structure, the relationship between those components? But then it goes beyond that. It allows you to define all the defects you might want to record for specific asset types. What attributes again you want to record as part of that when you're logging the defect, what inspections you want to carry out, the questions you want to ask, the information you want to capture, and jobs. What attributes again do you want to record as you're carrying that stuff out. And on top of that flexibility that designer brings, we've also got a huge range of pre-configured designs, what we call blueprints within the system. And these are created by our subject matter experts in the consultancy team. And they have expertise across a wide range of service areas. So, the ones we're going to look at today, like waste, cleansing, grounds and arboreal, they created a lot of blueprints for those service areas. But going beyond that, highway, street lighting, et cetera, we've got a lot of expertise within the business for all these service areas to build these kind of exemplar blueprint designs that mean that if you took Alloy on, they can be deployed as part of the implementation to get you up and running. Or if after a few years of running a couple of service areas in Alloy, you decide to expand into a new service area, we can flick a few switches and turn those blueprints on for you, so that you've got access to what we view as the kind of exemplar way of managing a particular service area. And it just saves you, I suppose, having to reinvent the wheel. So let's go and have a look at a couple of designs. I'll look at trees design first, because we've looked at some trees. So if we open this out, these are all the attributes that you could record against any tree that you plotted. So think of a design as a sort of template. It allows you to sort of record certain information that you want to record against a specific asset, defect, inspection, job, and so on. So you can see all of these attributes here. And then we've also got links to sort of lookup tables. So, a lookup table to allow us to identify the species, the height, life stage, physiological condition, and so on and so forth. And if you wanted to add new attributes to this existing design, you can just select add attribute, and then you've got all these options that you can use to actually configure the design of the template to allow people to collect more information for you. I'm not actually going to do that with a tree design. I'm going to go to another design, and we're going to add in a couple of new attributes. So we'll find the design for a bench. And you can see here the bench has far fewer attributes than the tree. Let's say I want to record more information about my benches. I actually want to know if there's a plaque on the benches and what the inscription on that plaque would be. To add those extra attribute options in, as I showed before, I go add attribute, and then I just pick one of these options. So I'd use maybe a yes, no for plaque present. I can make it mandatory if I like or not. You can put in sort of defaults. You've got lots and lots of options with these attributes to sort of configure them as you would want them to behave. I'll add that in. And then we'll add one more. So it'll be a text one this time and inscription. There you go, create that. So if I go back to the bench design now, or bench template, you can now see that we've got this plaque present attribute and inscription attribute added in to the overall design. Now, it's worth pointing out that for most organizations using Alloy, you'd only have a small core of people that would have the access to this kind of area. This is obviously configuring how the system will work. Most people probably won't need to look at this or interact with it. Most people will just use the system in a functional way. So let's select a bench now. You can see this is the attribute information that's currently been recorded against this bench. So we've got color, material type, and so on, location. If I edit that now, you can see this new attribute that I've added in, plaque present and inscription. Oh, didn't spell that very well. There we go. Save that, and I've now updated the attribute information against that asset. So it really is that easy to configure the system to manage the assets and services in the way that you want the system to behave. It's not, just about what we think is right, giving that to you and saying you must use the system and bend your processes to the will of the system. There's a lot of flexibility there for the system to fit within your processes and work best for you.